In this lecture, we will talk about DataFrame. The DataFrame is a tabular data structure very similar to a spreadsheet. The DataFrame consists of an ordered collection of all columns, each of which can contain a value of a different type, numeric, string, boolean. The DataFrame has two index arrays. The first index array, associated with the lines, has very similar functions to the index array in series. Each label is associated with all the values in the row, and the second array contains a series of labels, each associated with a particular column. A data frame may also be understood as a dictionary of series, where the keys are the column names and the values are the series that were formed columns of the data frame. So furthermore, all elements in each series are mapped according to an array of labels called the index. So this figure is a very simple data frame. So here is the index for rows. For each row has an index. So data frame has two arrays for index. This is a row index, this is a column index. And a column index actually is the name of the column variables. And this is the main part of the variable. So defining a data frame, the most common way to create a new data frame is to pass a dict object to the data frame constructor. This dict object contains a key for each column that you want to define, with an array of values for each of them. So this is a dictionary called data. So inside the dictionary with three key value pairs, this is a three keys, color, object, price, and for each key there's an array with the value. So next we can write frame is pd.dataframe. Just note D and F are capitalized with this dictionary. So the data frame will be created with three columns, and each column has each variable. Each variable has 5 values, and index from 0 to 4 will be automatically created for these 5 rows. And if the dict object from which you want to create a data frame contains more data than you are interested in, you can make a selection. In a construct of the data frame, you can specify a sequence of columns using the columns option. The columns will be created in the order of the sequence regardless of how they are contained in the dict object. So for example, we create a new data frame called frame2, then pd.dataframe, and inside the parentheses, first is the data, is a dictionary we created earlier. Then we use argument called columns. Then for these columns, we use a bracket for these two columns, which means only these two keys in the dictionary will be selected to form this data frame. So this data frame will have only two columns. And if the labels are not explicitly specified in the index array, Pandas automatically assigns a numeric sequence starting from 0. Instead, if you want to assign labels to the index of a data frame, you have to use the index option and assign it an array containing the label. So here we put an index array here with 5 strings. So in this case, this data frame will have index not automatically created, but with this 5 strings instead for 5 rows. And an alternative way to define a data frame, instead of using a dict object, you can define 3 arguments in a constructor in the following order. So data frame, a data matrix first, then an array containing the labels assigned to the index option for the rows, and an array containing the names of the columns assigned to the columns option. So frame 3 is a new data frame we created. So we also pd.dataframe. Then inside the parentheses, first we write a matrix which uses numpy's np.arrange16 to reshape by 4 by 4 shape. So this is a matrix, two-dimensional numpy array with 4 by 4 shape, and element 0 to 15, 16 elements. The next we write an index array with 4 index string for the rows for the data frame. The next we write an array with 4 variables for the columns of this data frame. And selecting elements of data frame. So if you want to know the name of all columns of a data frame, you can specify the columns attribute on the instance of the data frame object. So frame is a data frame. We can write frame.columns. Then the variable names will be shown. And similarly, to get the list of index, you should specify the index attribute. So we can write frame.index. Then the index name will be shown. And you can also get the entire set of data contained with the data structure using the values attribute. So frame.values, then the value part of the data frame will be shown. Or if you're interested in selecting only the contents of a column, you can write the name of the column. So for example, we use frame bracket. Then inside bracket we write a variable of a column, one column name. So this will return a series object with the index and the value only for this column. Another way to do this is to use the column names as attribute of the instance of the data frames. We can also write frame.price. We'll get the same result as this one. And selecting elements using lock and iLock. So for rows within a data frame, it is possible to use the lock attribute with the index values of the row that you want to extract. So we can write a frame.look2, then the third row of this data frame will be shown, and actually it's also a series object. And to select multiple rows, you can specify an array with a sequence of rows to insert. So here we can write a lock double bracket 2, 4, then these 2 rows of the data frame will be get. And for the look, we can also write access labels. So we can select these 2 rows and with these 2 columns, and these 2 columns has names. We can write string names for the variable names of these 2 columns. So actually this will be returned with a data frame. Part of the data frame will be returned. And the difference between iLock and lock is, for the iLock you can only use integer indexing only. So same as the previous examples, for iLock function we can use 2, the same as lock. Okay, use 2, 4 double brackets, same as lock. But in the last case, for the iLock function we can only write 0, 2 here, because iLock does not accept string or variable name indexing, only for the integer type indexing. So this will also return part of the data frame for these 2 row and these 2 column. If you need to extract a portion of the data frame, you can select the lines that you want to extract. So you can use the reference numbers of the index to return value as an object data frame. So if you want to select all the columns but with some rows, then you can write frame bracket. So for the data frame, if you write like this way, this means for select the rows but all the columns. So this means select only the first row, and return the object to the data frame object, actually with only one row but all the columns of the original data frame. And frame bracket 1 column 3 will select 2 row, second and third row, but all the columns of the original data frame, and this will return a data frame. And if you want to achieve is a single value within a data frame, you first use the name of the column and then the index or the label of the row. So we select 2 times with brackets. First, the brackets with the column name. Here we have to use column names with string variable name for the object column. Then select the next 3, the fourth value of this column. So this will return only a single value in a data frame. We will show all these commands in Anaconda Spider now. We open the file called section 11 introducing pandas library.py, and you can find the links to this file in description of this video. We move to lecture 4, introducing of Pandas data structures, the data frame. Then first you import these 2 libraries, Pandas and numpy. Then we define a data frame. First create a dictionary. Then use pd.dataframe. For this dictionary, we'll create a data frame. Then we'll show this is a data frame with 3 variable, column, and 5 rows. This is row index automatically assigned in creation from 0 to 4. We can also create a data frame with only 2 columns. Frame 2. Then we can create data frame with a matrix, assign a matrix in creation, then index array, then a columns variable array. We'll show this data frame, frame 3, with 4 column and 4 row, and index name, column variable name are all assigned in creation. Selecting elements, can use frame.columns, column name, variable name, and frame.index, row index, start from 0, stop from actually is the 5 values 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can select the value. This is the value, all the values in this data frame. And selecting column, bracket, then the column name. The return is a series with index value for the price. Can use this way also. Same. And using lock 2, the third row of this data frame. Actually, this is also a series. Because 3 variable, then 3 variable will be 3 variables name in original data frame now will be the index name of this series, and the value will be the value of this series. can select 2 rows using lock. Because select 2 rows, so the column names will also be column names, and because the returned is a data frame, so 2 rows index from original data frame, and columns value with 3, and we can select 2 rows and 2 columns. Use lock. Can write here, use the variable name, string variable name. So this is on 2 rows, 2 columns of the original data frame. But for the lock case, only accept integer number. So this is third row. This is same as ilock. Here we use ilock, only accepting integer indexing, and same as lock. Same as when we use lock, but this is, in this case, we have to put the index of the integer index here, not the string variable name, if we want to use ilock. Also a 2 row, 2 column. And we can select the rows of a data frame, use integer numbers in the bracket. So only the first row, but all columns. This returned is a data frame, not a series. Although this is only 1 row, but this returned type is data frame. This will also return data frame with 2 rows and 3 columns of the original data frame. And this can return a single element. We will first use the bracket for the column variable name in quotes, then a bracket for the row of so this is a single value returned. So for the data frame, we see if you use the bracket selection after the data frame, if you write the quotes with string, this means the column, select a column. But if it is a numerical number, then this means rows.